Welcome to Chapter 16 of the Legal Series, focusing on credibility determinations. This video explores how truth is assessed in adversarial legal settings. Our learning objectives include assessing witness testimony for bias, distinguishing between expert and surrogate opinions, and identifying juror misconduct. The core challenge is determining truth when lives are at stake. Key terms for credibility analysis include credibility determination, inconsistency and omission, plausibility and demeanor, and corroboration. We will also cover the Real ID Act and the totality of the circumstances. We will review key terms like the Confrontation Clause, Rimmer hearing, testimonial evidence, and presumption of harm, which are essential for understanding the search for truth in legal proceedings. Section 1 examines why credibility matters. It is a defining factor in immigration court, impacting findings of fact, the burdens of proof, and eligibility for relief, often independent of documentation. Section 2 focuses on the Real ID Act of 2005, which expanded judicial factors for credibility evaluation. Judges must consider the totality of circumstances, including demeanor, consistency, and corroboration, even if factors don't go to the heart of the claim. Judges consider inconsistencies, omissions, and plausibility, relying on witness demeanor. Corroboration, such as medical records or affidavits, is vital. Testimony must also align with available country conditions reports. Section 4 addresses trauma and credibility. Judges must consider that hardship, like violence or torture, affects memory. Trauma can lead to fragmented recall, avoidance behavior, and cultural communication differences, offering critical context for inconsistencies. Common credibility problems stem from unreliable border interview notes and incomplete applications, often due to rush or lack of counsel. Exaggeration and contradictions between witnesses also pose serious risks. Judges operate under a mandate to use specific legal standards. They must evaluate the totality of circumstances, identify specific reasons for adverse findings, link inconsistencies to the claims, and provide the respondent an opportunity to explain perceived contradictions. The discussion questions for this chapter cover the importance of credibility in asylum cases, how the Real ID Act changed analysis, why omissions matter, and how trauma affects credibility. For assessment, consider defining key terms such as inconsistency, plausibility, corroboration, and the, quote, totality of the circumstances within a legal context. Practice Case 16, the matter of Jamal Yusuf, a case from Somalia, presents a credibility challenge. It involves a comparative analysis of testimony and inconsistencies to examine how legal standards are applied to demeanor and corroboration. Jamal Yusuf, a 22-year-old from Somalia, claims persecution as an al-Shabaab recruitment target. The core conflict is the tension between his claim of persecution and the government's assertion of economic migration. The credibility gap arises from the initial statement citing, quote, work as the primary motivation, omissions of physical assault, and a lack of medical corroboration. The analysis must determine if this gap is due to a false claim or a lack of legal counsel. The defense presents the employer, testifying to Yusuf's work ethic and stability, and the parish priest, speaking to his character and community service. Government witnesses include Dr. Mutual, an expert on al-Shabaab tactics, and Dr. Smythe, who offers perspective on the risks of Yusuf's flight path. The government's economic migrant theory holds that Yusuf's initial statement is reliable, and his claims of persecution are fabricated. The defense's trauma-informed argument counters that initial omissions are due to trauma or language barriers, and his community integration supports his plausibility. Critical legal questions include, do inconsistencies go to the heart of the claim? Can Yusuf credibly explain the omissions? To what extent should the court rely on country conditions when testimony is shaky? Finally, is the narrative plausible rather than merely proven?